Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the satisfying this. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you of fires. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got to the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making, history is made. We just getting started, you ain't seen a thing. YSN, they gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports, let's go.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is an Overreaction Monday right here on YSN Live. DJ Yoke, and of course the World Traveler joining us. Buddy, Overreaction Monday, it's here. It's here. We got a lot to talk about. We've got in the win column here for the first time in a while, and they're proud to be there. The Latonia Bears joining us today, 12:15, 12:30, as long as he's still here and still wants to be with us. We are joined by our featured columnist and certainly on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, bringing in Greg McAfee.
What's up, guys?
What's up, G-Mac? How are you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Doing good. How about yourself?
The struggles on Friday night that you had going into your first broadcast. These teams, we've seen some big wins. We're going to talk to some guys here in a few minutes that had a huge win for their first week of high school football in 2025.
Well, we kind of talked about it on the show a little bit on Thursday, and it's like going into week one, you don't really know what's out there, like, and try to figure out, who's going to be, the teams in the area and everything, but you don't really know what's going to happen week one. And I think we saw a couple of examples, two teams that have faced off in week one a couple different times. Everyone might have thought, the Warriors are going to come out on top in this one. Canfield surprises them to start the season off right, and we talked about that on Thursday as well. Just getting off to a good start, and Canfield does it in a pretty special way there. Obviously, a lot of pretty big performances from around the area. We're talking about two sophomore quarterbacks, David Zipolidis over at Poland, AJ Pearson at Girard. Pearson threw for 3 touchdowns, 257 yards, ran for another 5 and 205 yards. David Zipolidis over at Poland in their win over Salem, 7 carries, 201 yards, 4 touchdowns, and threw for another 71 yards and a touchdown. 4 of his 5 touchdowns were from over 50 yards.
Wow.
So, I mean, I think that just highlights the type of special performances we have in the area. I mean, I was watching some of the film from Poland, and Zipolidis reminds me a lot of like a Kyler Murray type guy. I mean, he's just squeezing in and out of tackles. Like, you think you have him wrapped up, and he breaks away and takes one deep. I think he scored from 71 yards on the first play, Poland's first play from scrimmage. Crazy, just crazy stuff.
Surprise to no one, because we saw what he did last year as the freshman of the year here on YSN. We're seeing a lot of big wins, and we're going to talk about that. But there's some tough losses that we saw. But
Yeah.
It's just because you're 0-1 doesn't mean you just throw in
Yeah.
the towel on the 2025 campaign. We felt like going into this game that it was going to be a big challenge for South Range to take
Yeah.
down Lake. And there's a lot of people that are, we've talked about the chatter between the coaches and the surrounding community saying, okay, South Range, this is not going to be their year. They need to rebuild, they showed a lot of promise on Friday night, certainly, but they were punching up. We all knew they were punching up, but there's no reason to line the bridges between North Lima and Canfield. Am I wrong?
No, not at all. I mean, South Range, you never want to count them out. I mean, with all the success they've had in recent years, a week one loss is nothing. I mean, they can come back, rebound right away, and when they're playing in their conference, they're going to truly show who they are. Obviously, these types of games, playing up against a Division II school, is a good barometer to see where you're going into week two. If you come out with a loss, you rebound, you watch the film, you see what you can fix up, you see what you can tweak, and you get right back to work. And that's what South Range has shown a lot of in recent years, for sure.
Anthony Hartwig has a question for you, Greg.
You look at West Branch and Canfield, I think one of the most entertaining games of the night, and Canfield's defense is the one that really steps up with that final stop on the last drive that West Branch had. Talk about what you saw from both teams, and especially Canfield. This was a game that went West Branch's way, I believe, last year. So to get revenge on the Warriors and to be able to get a win on the season, what do you see from both teams in that matchup?
The one thing I've learned about Canfield since I moved to the area and everything is they're a team that's gonna they can gut their way to wins. They can gut their way to victories. No matter you can never count them out of a game, whether it's a defensive playing on defense or coming up with an offensive performance. On Friday, it was special teams and defense. I mean, like I said, they had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. Donnie Furco returned one for 76 yards. Sammy Hout returned one for 94 yards. And then they obviously come up with the big defensive stop at the end of the game. Just a typical Canfield performance, I think. And it's something that they can build off of moving forward after maybe what some might consider a down year last season. They can use this as motivation kind of moving into the rest of the season. West Branch, I would consider it a blip on the radar. They come in, they're trying to figure things out. JT Thomas was quarterback last year. He moves out to wide receiver. Grady Hurst takes over under center, throws for 280 yards in typical West Branch fashion, completed 25 of his 50 passes. I mean, if we're talking about a West Branch offense, that's what you see. One guy I'd really like to highlight, and you can't really miss him when he's on the field, is Gavin Gregory, 6'7", 240-pound tight end, 5 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I think anywhere to go up but up for both programs. I wouldn't look too much into this loss for West Branch, for sure.
And we see it every year. Obviously, you get 3 or 4, depending on your league, non-conference games, and there's a lot of people that put a lot of stock into these games to start the season. And right now, especially with it going from 16 teams making the playoffs to 12 teams making the playoffs, will we start seeing a little bit more stock in the future scheduling of, hey, we want to make sure that we're not necessarily going 3-4 divisions up. These wins are going to help us regardless at the end of the season, whether there are 12 or OHSA decides to go back to 16, which we're hearing rumors of, which is crazy because we haven't even got through one season yet. But for credence, do you put into non-conference games and how much weight they carry, whether it is a win or a loss?
Yeah, I mean, area definitely want to test themselves. I mean, like I said, there's these games at the beginning of the year are good barometers to see what they can accomplish for the rest of the year. So you want to challenge yourself. I don't think you necessarily want to, take cupcake games at the beginning of the season. You want to see where you stand. You want to challenge yourself. You want to be able to challenge your kids and be able to adjust when you get into the conference games, for sure. But it's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting question, interesting situation to see just kind of how different schools approach it. I think you see it at the college level, especially with, obviously you have all the SEC questions of them playing, but you get other schools who are like, let's challenge ourselves. Let's play up 3 or 4 divisions and see what we're made of.
you think are big overreactions for week one?
I don't know. It's hard to, I guess, off of week one. It's hard to come up with some big overreactions. I mean, you look at some teams around the area who may have come out on the losing end, like a Fitch losing to Hudson. I don't think it's anything to really worry about. If you look at Canfield or West Branch losing to Canfield, everyone like, oh, West Branch isn't that team this year. It's a good loss to a tough program. So there's nothing that really truly kind of sticks out to me in a way right after week one. But as we get going, I'm sure there will be some stuff.
I think the biggest thing to look for this week, last week you talked about the excitement of, can you feel it? Football is back. What do we have to look forward to?
So I'll have
week?
a notebook at some point today, kind of going over some stuff that we talked about on this show. And these two sophomore quarterbacks have really kind of caught my eye.
Dude.
It's really something that it's really something I'd like to have kind of shown over the first 2 years in their systems and kind of go from there. But I'm still looking into some other things. Obviously, we had some new coaches around the area that picked up their not, I wouldn't say new coaches, but coaches to new programs that picked up their first
Sophomore slump?
No sophomore slump.
No sophomore sensations.
There you
Tell
go.
you what, you look at what's happening in East Pack. You got Nick Toy taking over the reins at South Range. I really think that you've got something here with this sophomore class and how skilled and how talented they are across the good year. Ladies and gentlemen, featured columnist and one of the best to ever do it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Greg McAfee. Thanks, G. All right.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's weird. Whoa. There we go. All right, close it up. We're playing with some camera angles here. We're trying to get fancy. That did not go the way I thought it would go whenever we remove someone from, but we'll figure it out nonetheless. We have some great guests today on the show, and I think they're exclusive. I don't know that anybody else is going to have them on their show. I don't know that there are any other shows, so we're just going to go with exclusive here on YSN. The Latonia Bears, man, you talk about how tough they've had it over the last 3.5 years. Would you say it was October 29th or something like that?
It was that 21 season they got the win over Sebring. I believe it was the 28th. That was that year when it was weird. You could opt out of the playoffs if you wanted to.
And now you look at what they've gone through. 3.5 years of just pounding their head against a wall, trying to get that victory. They never gave up. They never gave in. They never threw in the towel. They always showed up. And finally, on Thursday night, they drive on a bus. And we'll talk to Coach about how many times they stopped on that bus ride there and back. But they drove about 3, a much-deserved victory, and they brought it back to the Valley with them. They start 1-0 in 2025. And joining us at this time, ladies and gentlemen, a young man who, when you think about it, could be potentially one of the front runners, the wave runner, so to speak, breaking the current for the current Latonia Bears, bringing in Ethan Mathia. Buddy, congratulations. Yeah, we'll get you live. There we go. Ethan, for you, we talked a little bit before you hopped on. That has to be such a relief, focus on getting better each and every week. What was it like for you? What was that ride up like? And knowing that
the ride up was very anticipated. I was gonna have a nervous game. I was going into it thinking it was gonna be like insanely difficult, but we went there, gone up away game and won, and first win of my career.
From the jump, it looked like you guys were in control.
Oh yeah, right at the start of the game.
Did you guys, like, when you were prepping for this game, did you see a lot of things that you thought you could really take advantage of, or like you said, did you think that this was going to be a real big battle with Van?
I thought it was going to be a real big battle. I thought we were going to have a real close game and come out on top. But
It's wild because you look at kind of there's much electricity, let alone much tape to be able to watch from them. For you guys, what were some of the huge challenges that you were facing in your own locker room to be able to get some of that education, some of that film, some of that study that you need to be able to know you're going in well prepared?
we didn't
Or did you have all the tape that you needed?
really have much film on them because it's such a small team, and I don't know if we had any, to be honest. We didn't really know much about them. Like, we did not know much. We thought they were going to be a smaller team like we thought, but we didn't know much about them at all.
What were some things, you said that bus ride was anticipating. What were some things that were going through your mind? How were you kind of picturing the success you were going to have?
I just thought I was just nervous. I thought it was a big game, first win. I didn't know if it was going to happen or not.
Sit there and you celebrate with your teammates, obviously. The ride back, awesome, I'm sure. A relief for you, the coaching staff, the community, the district, everybody. When you knew the game was in hand, what was the first thing going through your mind?
I was just excited. I was very excited. It was the first win I've ever had in my career playing high school football. So
When you think about that, like that's wild. The first win in your career, you'll never forget this moment. What were some moments in the game that, like, the memories that you think will really stick with you? If we asked you the same question 10 years down the line, what were some moments that you feel like really stuck out as highlight moments in this game?
First play of the game when we got on offense, scored a touchdown, very first play on an outside run. It was just perfect. I was lead blocking. Dylan Brown took it all the way.
When you think about the potential this season has for you guys, I mean, you get a win, and now you're looking for your next, right? You're Instead of hunting the Bears are doing the hunting, and now you turn to week 2. What things do you guys have to do to keep this momentum going and to be 2-0 when we talk next week?
We just got to prepare. I know we have film on them, so we're actually going to be prepared for a team.
When you think about, like you said, the momentum and the community support this brings, I'm sure when you got back to Latonia, there might have been a waiting party.
Yeah,
it was late at night, but I still think there are people waiting for you. What's it feel like to kind of feel not just your first win, but also feel the community kind of feel that victory as well?
It was very nice. We came home, we rang the bell for the first time I've ever done it. It was nice. The community was there. We took videos and stuff. Very fun.
Let's talk about you for a little bit, dude. So you're sitting there. Obviously, you said it numerous times, which is, I love it. You're enjoying it. Your first victory as a high school football player. What things have you learned through going through the adversity that you've gone through leading up to this that nothing should be taken for granted?
I would say I've learned, like, are you talking about like playing like all the time?
No, just like in
the actual game?
Just like in life in general. What lessons has this taught you that you're not always going to win? In fact, you might go a while before you get a win in life or a win in sports or a win in anything, and to cherish maybe those victories that you have when you get them.
Yeah, cherish your victories. Keep working for more. Just stay very positive at all times too.
What about confidence level? I mean, where's your confidence at after that first win? It's gotta, I imagine, boost the way you're feeling about yourself and the team way up.
The team, I feel like the team's confidence has really gone up a lot because that's a lot of our first wins in high school. So,
all right, let's hop on the get to know you part for Ethan Mathia, the 1-0 Latonia Bears as it stands right now. That's got to feel good. That's got to sound good to your ears. So for you, what's your favorite part of being a Latonia Bear?
The team, just the family. The team is it's very close knit, very together, small. It just feels
We hear how special Friday Night Lights can be, the pregame atmosphere. What's your favorite part about getting ready for a game and feeling those jitters before a Friday Night Light?
just trying to show out, having a good game with everybody. Trying to
You're
win.
seen on this team as a leader, undoubtedly. So when you're talking about your leadership qualities, your leadership traits, what and who taught you how to be a great leader like you are?
Well, I'd say the biggest leader is probably Jaden. I just try to follow him. He's probably the biggest leader on the team.
What's he do so well that allows him to lead?
He's a very vocal leader. He talks all the time. He's very uplifting. Doesn't talk down on people.
In the same avenue of that question, who are some of the role models that you look up to, the people that you think, when it's your turn to be that big vocal leader, you can lean on to kind of know how to do it?
Could you repeat that, please?
Who are some role models in your life that you think that kind of teach you how to be a leader when it's your time to go out and be that biggest vocal leader on the team that you can lean on?
Mainly the coaches. I follow a lot. Try to be like the coaches. They lead by example.
Same kind of question. We'll kind of take a left turn to it for a role models.
My dad, he's always been a role model for me.
Why is that?
He's always loved football. I've always loved football growing up, so kind of just follow him.
Who's that childhood team? Who are you and your dad watching on Saturdays or Sundays to root for?
Different, so.
What a miserable God. Dolphins and the Browns. Sundays are tough. Just stay in church, man. Like, you're better off there. You're better, Dad, become a Dolphins fan. Is that like a Dan Marino thing?
Since he's been young, there's pictures of him in Dolphins jerseys. He's just
Dolphins family to it's your mom's a Browns
Yep.
fan. Boy, oh boy. Wow. Well, have you ever thought about like front running like Anthony to like the Chiefs or somebody?
No, not really.
Hey, I got the Royals, okay? So we're not. I lived through it.
Okay. We feel our Pirate fandom. We feel real bad for you in your World Series championship and all your Super. Ethan, for you, how does one lead to the next? Lead to the next. Lead to the next. I mean, can this be a potential championship caliber season? Because I'm just going to guess. You've heard the chatter. You've heard the people say, how does that hit for you differently now than it did last year?
This year, I feel like we can actually do something. We can have we have a better opportunity for winning more games.
And you feel more confident in going into those games, right? And how has Coach Altomeyer, and you're sitting next to a dashingly handsome human being that's your new athletic director, how have they changed things for you to make you more confident leading into these
They
games?
get us everything we need any year, all that stuff. Anything we want or need, we pretty much can get.
What are some of the favorite gear that you get? Like, I know you get some swag. What's the favorite swag on?
Backplates. We got new jerseys last year. We get pants last year. We have sleeves probably if you need them. And need pretty much what you want for as looks go.
For you, what's the biggest game that you have circled for the imagine you guys in the playoffs go 3.5 years without a game,
Yeah, that would be
potentially a playoff team? Who are some of the teams you got circled?
probably Lisbon, Wellsville are my two games that I really look forward to.
We know
Every year.
Lisbon. That's the spaghetti.
Yeah.
Okay. We know spaghetti. So, dude, we're a fan. We're proud of you. We're excited for you. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to a big season out of you. And certainly, you're always welcome here, man. So next win, you got to pop back on. Now it's superstition, right?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the one and only Leetonia
Thank you.
Bears, Ethan Mathias. Thank you, Ethan. Appreciate you, brother. You got it. There he goes.
Run who taped his ankles up.
Okay.
Somebody had to do
You're a hero. Okay. Is that what you wanted to hear?
all
You're a hero. Give him just a little bit. Okay. Give us 2 minutes and then change the nameplate. He's FaceTime. Dashingly handsome. That Nick Safara. He is the guy. Leetonia Bears, and I'll tell you what, Ethan Mathias is a dude, and he doesn't talk the way he plays and plays the way he talks. He's very sheepish. He's very shy, which a lot of these youngsters are. But I would not want to get in his way on the football field. No way. Not a chance. Because he doesn't play shy on the football field. I can tell you that. He's a dog.
One of the times he smirked during that interview was when he said I was the lead blocker on Dylan Brown's game-opening touchdown. He knew I got to hit people. I got to lead the way a little bit. And, that those are some of the things that can happen if you get in his way. You're not getting to the ball carrier, that's for sure.
That's my favorite, because when people say I was the lead blocker, like, hell yeah, he's taking credit for that touchdown too. That's how it goes. Like, I'm taking it. And he does. And know how pumped he and his teammates were. And I heard rumblings, and I'm looking forward to talking to Coach Aldermeyer for just the reason of how Van Loo, because I heard rumors that there wasn't much to go by. There wasn't much to go by. So basically, you're put in a position where it's you versus you, and you have to execute to the, because you've got nothing to go by. No scrimmages, and we're seeing that a lot more nowadays, by the way, is some dicey, I don't want to say sportsmanship, but like trading tape is getting to be quite the interesting scenario when it comes to things, especially early on in the season, when teams potentially can hide behind scrimmages and lack of scrimmages. So looking forward to hearing that story, because also the story about how many stops they had to make on the way to Van Loo, because we got a little. Well, next up we have the unequivocal. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm all over the place. I'm all spun up. The unequivalated, is that a word? The unequal leader. Let's just go with that. Derek Bell says, why is it so laggy? I have no idea. Are we lagging?
Not on our end.
Well, Derek, perhaps throw away the dial-up and try maybe something other than America Online. And you might be there. Let's go right now, and I'm just double checking here, making sure everything's good. See, do I get a thumbs up back there? I can't see. Yeah, looks like we're good.
Yeah, he's got
We go to the unequal leader of the Leetonia Bears, the one and only Jaden Rivers. What's up, dude? How are you? I'm doing well. Not as good, no. For the first time in your high school career, talk to me about what that feels like to be a Leetonia Bear right about.
It honestly, basically to bring our community and our team back together as
And it started. There was so much chatter. We had to squash some rumors live on the show about whether not only do we have a team, but we are a winning football team now. We can go and we can get wins. What does that feel like for?
amazing. I mean, we've really tried to, shut out all the doubters and stuff like that, saying that we're going to go down. And I think we're very well on the way to prove all those doubters wrong, honestly.
You're what, 17, 18 years old? You're sitting there and there's a lot of people that love high school sports, but in your friends' shoes, in your teammates' shoes. You've worked extremely hard to be playing 11-man football, to represent your community and all that you do in your district. And I don't think people really understood the toll mentally that it probably took on you when you got that win, when you got that victory. What did it feel like, and how much of that dark cloud went away for you guys?
It felt great. I mean, we've been waiting for it for a long time. We went into the game confident, but not cocky. And just to see the smiles on everybody's face, the crowd, the band, the cheerleaders, everybody, the coaches, it was just a great feeling, and it's something that we haven't felt in a very long time. So it was just an amazing atmosphere.
I want to talk about the celebration. Give us a little bit of peek behind the curtain on what it was like to celebrate this win, the bus ride back home, and probably a lot of celebrating in the locker room before the bus ride even got started.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, we haven't got to celebrate something like that in a long time. I mean, the bus ride home, we were jamming the music and everything like that. And we just haven't had a good bus ride in a long time. Usually it's quiet and stuff like that, but this time it was very different.
What do you want people to know about this year's Bears and how they're different, how you guys are different than years past, and how you're not going to take this win lightly?
I would say I would like people to know that our mentality is definitely completely different. We believe in ourselves a lot more, and we definitely know that we can, win a couple games, and we've put in the time at practice, even with our low numbers and stuff like that. I just want people to know that we're not giving up, and it's gonna be hard to beat us this year.
You've been coined the vocal and energetic leader of this team. You are the guy that is screaming. Where does that energy come from? Where do you gotta get that fire in your belly to come out and be the energy of your team?
Knowing that I believe in our team. I believe in myself. I believe in our coaches. I believe in our school, our community, everything. I just really would like everybody else to believe that. So I bring it out and I try and get everybody else to believe that, because it's true. We are a strong community. I mean, we've held up for so long, even in this small town and everything. I just need people to know that, and I just always been that way. I've never tried to talk down on people, because I know I see the potential in a lot of people, because even when you don't see potential in yourself, there's still some in there.
Jaden, what did you learn about yourself during the losing streak? What did you learn about, just being able to keep pounding the rock, so to speak, and being able to keep showing up, because you did, and you continue to show up, not just for your team, not just for your family, your community, the district, your coaches, your teammates, all of that. What did you learn about Jaden Rivers along the way?
I learned that it definitely takes a lot to go through a losing streak like that, and I've learned that I can push myself a lot more than I've ever realized. Like, some things I just didn't know I could do until this happened, because I've been trying to push myself every day. I even, throughout the summer, I even applied for the Planet Fitness summer program, went to the gym every morning when we didn't have football and stuff like that. So I definitely learned that I can push my body to limits that I didn't know I had.
Earlier, you talked about blocking out the negative noise. What about the positive noise? Who were some people in the community or in your life that kind of lifted you up and encouraged you and let you know, like, yeah, you can do this. You got this. You're the dog out there. Let's go get it.
I would probably say my coaches, for sure. The teachers in school, we walked through the hallways. We would always get positive comments like, like, we'll have it next week or stuff like that, or we tried our best, stuff like that. Another one of my main ones, though, is definitely my mom. I mean, your mom's always your biggest supporter and stuff like that. But I mean, for the most part, it's just been an all around community thing. Like, everybody has always been together. My family has always lived here. I have not, but obviously my high school career. But the community has just always been that way, and that's what I'm trying to bring back.
Jaden, what's one trait that and you mentioned mom, so we'll just stay with her. What's one trait that mom has that you want to encapsulate and keep with you in your own walk, daily walk with life or in sports?
I would say it's mainly, my mom's a very positive person. She tends to, even when times get real rough and stuff, she knows what to do to push through and stuff like that. And she's a very caring and loving person, and stuff like that. She just always wants to help people, and I've always tried to model myself after her. So,
Jaden, we're incredibly proud of you. Thank you so much for taking time for us today. I know it's, first day of school for you too. So, hey, congrats. Big year ahead of you. You started it the right way. 1-0, buddy. So keep on racking up those wins. We'll be watching. We're big fans, and we will certainly see you very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Latonia Bears, Mr., and you get a big Mr. With a lot of respect on it, Jaden Rivers. Jaden, thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back to the two thing. This thing stinks. I hate this. Like, we appreciate Jaden. Our camera angles stink. Like, building a professional show and also trying to stay professional. Not our strong suit.
I wonder if next time you can just click the 2 box and just have it instead of having the. Well,
no, because it'll throw it to like the third. Like he'll move over the third.
Right. Right.
We're trying to figure this. Building the plane in the air, folks. This is not easy. It is bad. I'm trying to get a thumbs up whenever. Yep, we got a thumbs up. All right, we're good. Now we go from two of the players who had to go through that tough losing streak to a guy that has brought prominence, exuberance, excitement back to the promised land of Latonia, a guy that has been around the block a time or two and had a few stops on the way to Van Loo. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Matt Alderman. Coach, 1-0, baby!
Yeah.
You did it!
Yeah, we did.
We appreciate you. Obviously, want to know a lot of good stuff to talk about leading up to the game. I guess there wasn't anything out there that you guys could necessarily study. How did you manage that? And when you got off the bus, did you feel confident that you were going to put your team in a position to walk away with that win, so you didn't have that tough 3-hour bus ride?
Sure. Van Loo's head coach and I we'd had plenty of conversations, just kind of explaining what situations we were in compared to them. And really, actually, when you're in the middle of a 30-game losing streak, which is the last time I'm probably ever going to mention that, when you're in the middle of that, it actually was better that we didn't have film. and because it was such a long trip. And we had confidence. Our kids were prepared, but they still had a little doubt in their mind. And now, if you did have film on them, or if you had played a team in the past, all of a sudden you start watching film, you start second guessing yourself, you start ruminating a little bit. And it was good. We just came in as a blank slate, said, hey, this is how we prepared in the summer. This is what we're going to do. If they do anything to stop it, this is what we're going to do to change things. And, we had a clear-cut plan, and we just tried to execute it as best we could.
As a coach, when you go into a game, I'm sure there's a lot of things going through your mind and uncertainty of if the first couple plays are going to work. First play of the game, man. First play of the game, you busted for a touchdown. What does that do for your mindset during a game to realize, okay, like we got something cooking here?
Yeah, you always want to score. I don't know if there's any coaches going to tell you that they design a play to go 3 yards. Coaches will say that, but hey, every time we call a play on offense, we want to score a touchdown, and every time we run a defense, you want to get a sack or a turnover. So, but it was great. To start the game off like that, because honestly, we didn't say anything to the kids, but when you're traveling so far away with an unknown opponent, where we really couldn't even get any film from last year or any kind of TV highlights or anything, and you always worry, even though, like you said, I've been around the block a few times. I think we have a good pulse of teams, not only regionally, but, throughout the state. You just didn't know what kind of football they played in that area of the state either. You can look at records all you want, but, there's different kind of football played. So you never know. That was the kind of thing that was going through my mind is, well, I know they've been down, but, they might have 13, 14 kids, but they're all just tough as nails, farm boys. You never know. So it was good to get that first touchdown on the first play of the game and, really kind of set the tone.
Coach, obviously it's a situation in football where you never take your foot off the pedal until the clock hits triple zeros. When did you feel like the black cloud disappeared and dissipated over your head during that Thursday night contest?
I would have to say probably midway through the first quarter. We go, like I said, we went in with the plan that we were going to do what we were going to do because we didn't have film and we weren't going to overguess or overthink too much. And, we were very fortunate that we were able to do everything we wanted to do. And so then that got to, halfway through the first quarter, I said, okay, listen, we still have to make this teachable moment. We're not where we want to be yet. Let's, instead of focusing on the big things, we need to focus on the little things. And that's how we had to approach probably about the last 3 quarters of the game was, hey, we still got to get better. We still have to worry about, the finer points of the game. And so I'd say probably around the first quarter.
When you think about the exuberation and being able to have that breath of air when you get the win for this community, for this program, for everyone involved in it, what's that feel like for you as the head guy, as the coach?
Well, as a head coach, you wear a lot of hats, as you guys know, around athletics all this time. And it's just mainly I felt good for the kids because you could preach being 0-0, one day matters, only the next play. But just to see not only the kids being happy and just celebrating, which, that's a part of football. Winning and losing is part of football. And these kids have never really got to experience every part of the, sport that we love. And just to see that it, not only were they were happy, but just you could just see it. It was almost right in front of you, just like a weight had been lifted off of everybody. And just kind of relief and exuberance would the way I'd probably describe the kids. And that's probably the best takeaway I had as a head coach, just to
was there just a knockout speech at the end? Like, was there just an I bet you just play home. Yeah. What was the speech like? And was it with some extra gusto,
We tried to let everybody that played a role in the program kind of say their piece at the end. The way the game worked out, and just kind of my personality, I got to be honest with you, by the end of the game, I'm already thinking about, I'm trying to check out, because Matthews played Jackson Milton the same night. So I'm trying to check out that score, trying to figure out, from some people at the game, what do we got to expect? It was maybe not as enthusiastic or a loud banger of a speech, more of, hey, all right, you know what, let's take a deep breath. Let's be excited. And part of that, too, is the way the game worked out. We were very fortunate that the game wasn't in doubt for most of the game. And, so we got our celebrating out of the way, but then I think the kids were more, they were very excited. We got our celebrating out of the way, and then I said, hey, okay, mandatory showers, you ain't getting in the bus. And they're like, but yeah.
For the 6 o'clock start. Sorry, Anthony. The 6 o'clock start. I know you guys like being first in the state of Ohio, but did you think about the travel going into the 3 hours and then think, what, 7?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did think about that at first, but our equipment in the U-Haul got lost there for a little while, so we had to let them catch up. And when you're on the bus after coaching a game for 3 hours, arrival back at the stadium, and I know one of my captains here told you we had quite a number of people waiting for us, which was awesome, to ring the victory bell. But no, I mean, I don't know. Whew, I'm getting too old for these school buses, man.
So they have to come to you next year? Yeah.
Hopefully, our unmistakably beautiful AD, as you described him, sitting right beside me. I'm gonna make sure he gets that. I'm gonna make sure he gets that done. Because hey, we did it. We want them to come the other whooping. They're coming here next year, and also because you don't want to just play somebody brand new every year, right? And like to keep some familiarity. But yeah, it was a fun trip home. It was a fun trip home, and we definitely got our celebrating in on the way home and after when we rung the victory bell.
Well, it's a Friday. It's a Thursday game, so you kind of had the Friday, which I think might be the only Friday of the year not playing all season. What do you do on the day without a game? What do you spend your Friday night doing?
I spent my Friday night was the same way I kind of spent my morning and afternoon. Was just getting ready for our next opponent. It's one day at a time when you're a football coach, and that's kind of what we did. I did have to take some breaks in between there to get my classroom ready because school started today. But other than that, I did have some of my assistants. We did go scout in person because we always like to scout in person some games. But realistically, by the time came around, I was able to go watch a local high school game in person also. So and just kind of relax and kind of be like, hey, we were there on Thursday. I can just feel the tension, from the head coaches, because I was kind of close with both coaches that played each other, and I could just feel it, and be like, wow, good. I'm just watching. I'm just a fan. I got a Coke in my hand, and I gave my kid some popcorn, and I'm like, boy, you shouldn't have run that play.
Isn't that nice to be able to be the armchair quarterback sometimes?
Yeah, it is.
All right, so one question I want to ask you before we leave. I'm not going to put you on the spot or anything, but you've been a guy that has been embedded in that community for such a long time. There's no doubt in my mind, how much football means to that community, and there's been a lot of chatter. Obviously, people talking about 8-man, people talking about this and that and the other, and consolidating districts, and you've heard it all from the time that you've been there. For you, what does Leetonia Bear football mean to you? Why is it so important, and why does this win validate everything that you and Nick and this community has fought for to keep 11 guys?
I mean, a lot of not just Leetonia, but a lot of small schools around here and just in the area or in the state of Ohio. It's kind of been the thing that binds communities together. You know, I mean, I love all sports, and Nick will tell you he loves all sports too. But you know, you get a football coach on here, he's going to say, "Hey, whatever town they're coaching at, it's a football town." And I mean, Latonia truly has been over the years, and you know, we strive to make it a part of our community, and you know, that's what it's about. That's kind of our identity. You know, we don't have a big industry here that people are like, oh yeah, that's where this plant is, or you know, we have it's, you know, our schools and our sports, they kind of bind our community together. It doesn't matter if we're winning or losing. I go down the Family Dollar or the local watering hole. I either hear about, you know, stories about, you know, when my dad coached him 45 years ago, or you know, do you remember when this happened? And honestly, half the time I have to play along because I don't, you know, I've been along in so many games, but, you know, I definitely believe them. But you know, it's just a part of small communities and even larger communities, and it kind of binds it together and gives it kind of their identity. So, I mean, you know, it's all I've known since I was born. I mean, you know, I don't think I missed a game there, a Latonia game, from the time of like 2 years old, I think, you know, and it's just all I know. And, you know, we're trying to keep things going. Our community's small, and, you know, sometimes things change, and, you know, we have to play schools that maybe are the similar enrollments or similar size or similar things that we're going through in order to, you know, give proof of concept, be like, say, hey, listen, we're okay, but, you know, we don't need to go to 8-man football. We don't need to eliminate football, because, you know, I think you could have any coach in Columbiana County on your show here, and if they said they didn't have football, they might not have a school with open enrollment and with other opportunities. So, you know, it's not that we have pressure. It's just a matter of, you know, this is what our community is about, and, you know, we got to keep this thing going however we can.
Coach, we appreciate you so much for stopping by and telling us the story, and certainly for that last answer, man. That was awesome. We're proud of you. Way to be the light and the beacon for those kids, and continue to be the leader that you are. We appreciate you as always. Please give the athletic director and ankle taper to your right the best that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Latonia Bears, the 1-0 Latonia Bears, Matt Aldermeyer. Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
There he goes. And Ant, when you think about the Latonia Bears, man, we celebrated them on Friday. We celebrated them on Thursday. We'll celebrate them here today. But I think moving forward, everybody has to take that book and they've got to turn that page.
Right.
They've got to turn that page, and now it's go time. And I love that answer, that last answer that he had about what football means to small towns, what it means to these districts, especially here in Columbiana County, which I am very much a part of, and will be forever. It's my home. There's nothing like a Friday night in Northeast Ohio. There's nothing like it. Sam Torres will tell you the same thing in Ashtabula. You'll hear it in Youngstown. We are very proud of our football programs. We're very proud of our districts. We're very proud of our sports. But, man, even if your school doesn't have football, they'll tell you there's nothing like a Friday night. Nothing like Friday night. We witnessed it, obviously, just a few days ago. But for the Latonia Bears to be back in the win column, man, it's worth celebrating, certainly. And I think everybody can kind of get behind that, you know, and feel good for the Latonia Bears, because I think everybody we're Bears fans. All right, we got Nick back there. You want to change the nameplate before I bring you on there, Mr. Athletic Director / PT expert, and I'll bring him on, and we'll let Nick do his thing, because he's not only a fan of the show, great friend in the program. All right, here we go. What's up, pal?
What's happening?
You've got to be incredibly proud.
Yeah, and you know, it's fun to joke and take credit, but obviously I wasn't here for that. And Dano and them guys got the bus ready, so it's fun to joke around and take credit and act like you did something. But no, the guys and the coaches worked hard to do what they had to do to get
Taped ankles.
I
Or
did.
so you said.
The play right after he ran for what was it, like a 60-yard touchdown the next play. So that's what I told him. I said, I'm not taping your ankle every game, though.
He taped ankles, but he made sure he was right front and center of the huddle camera. So everybody that watched film got to see him tape ankles.
As I was taping, I kept turning and waving to it, too.
I love it. And that was the cool thing. So we were actually watching your huddle video live because we didn't have any. I mean, the bounty was out. I tried to put $200 for anybody to go broadcast that game because we wanted it. But you guys were able to do it. It was incredible to watch. You know, I was at the Howland and Niles game, and we were watching, and you were giving me live updates, which, hey, thank you. We appreciate that. But to celebrate this and kind of not to – you have a different point of view than Coach does because, you know, you're in now. This is your first football season as a Latonia Bear. You made a lot of promises, and boy, did they cash that in on Thursday night. For you, that had to make you feel good.
Yeah, it's exciting to see the momentum. You know, the one thing Coach didn't say, you know, he's in coach mode, but we traveled so well. Like, that's the first thing that we said, and even the opposing school's AD, which they were awesome. They took care of us. They fed the team after. Everything was great. We filled up. You know, so you guys have been to Cheney. It's the most smaller facilities. We filled the whole thing up. I bet you we had 120 people there. And it was every bit of a 3-hour drive. I'm still getting bugs off the front of my truck because it was just farm for 3 hours. But no, we traveled extremely well. The community was extremely supportive. Johnny Max over here in the corner too. Without him, you know, the team wouldn't have been able to come back because we can laugh about it. It's funny, but we didn't know if the bell worked. Because we haven't rang it in so long. So, like, halftime, I'm texting Johnny. I'm like, hey, can you go get the lights on and make sure the thing works? So we're all sitting there nervous. Like, they're going to go back and ring this bell, and it's not going to ring. Right, because the rope hasn't been pulled in so long. So it was nice that the bell worked. Obviously, the kids had fun. There's a ton of videos going through social media. It was just nice to see the community happy, supportive, the kids having fun. There's some chatter in the school day today just about the excitement to kind of finally get that bug off your back. The biggest comment, you know, I'm not gonna come on here and not make a comment. The biggest comment that I want to make with it too, though, is I wish people would celebrate the wins and not who we played. Everybody's talking like we played some school that doesn't exist and nobody knows. Our enrollment's the same as them. They had 20 kids on their football team. We had 20 kids on our football team. You know, that's the size school that we should be playing. That's the size school that we did play. So it's exciting for our kids to finally get that win.
It's not Bishop Sycamore?
No, they would have probably smacked us pretty good. They had a bunch of 50-year-olds on that roster. But no, it's a school that's a Division 7 school that has a similar enrollment numbers that we do, and with a lot of momentum. And like you heard the kid saying, Coach say, coming out in the first play of the game, you go untouched for 60 yards. You felt it right then that you were kind of like, oh wow, this is going to go the way it seems like it's going to go.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that. Hey, we felt pretty good at first quarter. Like that says something. I guess from the perspective, Nick, is how do you build on week one moving forward?
Like you said, like Coach said, you got to go into week 2 and play. You got to find that middle ground to where you want to be confident and happy, but you don't want to be cocky because you are going to come back down to earth a little bit with the schedule moving forward and some of the teams you're going to play. So you got to find a way to celebrate the wins, but also understand that what is coming up next. Next week should be a really good game. At least we're all anticipating that. We're hoping obviously to win that one too, but that's another game with a level playing team, and we think that one will go good. Coach has been doing his homework. The schedule gets tough 3 through 10. It's tough the whole year, but it gets really tough 3 through 10. Conference play gets tough. You can be excited, but at the same time understand that you're not the best team in the world, and you don't want to go somewhere and get it flipped on you.
Coach Aldermore put the pressure on you to get Vanley to Latonia next year.
Yeah.
I mean, did you feel it when he said? Did you feel like, oh, geez, there's the sweat and bullets when he said that? Like, oh, it's on me now.
We talked with their AD after the game, and they're coming. They're fighting the same struggles that we're fighting. God, they can't promise anything when you have 20 kids on a team. If those numbers drop down to 14 or 15, they're in the same boat that we were talking about a couple months ago here. But God willing that they're going to play 11-man football, and their enrollment's going to stick where it's at. They're coming. Their AD's going to make the drive up.
Right now, week 1 of the zone coverage for YSN will be at Latonia next year on that Thursday night, right? I'm assuming it's going to stay at Thursday, right?
It's up to I would assume so. It's going to be up to coach and up to them. We had some chatter, and I'll put some chatter out there like I always do. We had some chatter about even doing our Meet the Bears night that night, which I know sounds kind of weird. There's some logistics we'd have to figure out. But if we do something like that, obviously we would love to have YSN stick around for either before or after the game as well to kind of celebrate kicking off the season because it's before the school year starts.
So wait, you're trying to have Meet the Bears like the same night as the football game?
We had some chatter about it. Now, there's a lot of logistics that have to be figured out. There's a lot of logistics that got to be figured out. Matt's shaking his head and rubbing his eyes here, but there's a lot of logistics that it might be something. We got to figure out something to get everybody out. So we're gonna.
You are the ultimate dude.
Hey,
appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Congratulations on win 1. We hope of many this season. As always, the guy that loves stirring the pot here on YSN. Ladies and gentlemen.
Always. Appreciate the time. Thanks for the coverage. Appreciate everything you guys do.
You don't get the last say on my show, pal. Let me just... Nick's affair. Nick, thank you very much. Got it, buddy. I love him. He drives me crazy, but I love him.
It would have been great if he kept poking okay, and then interrupted your walk off again. And
there's no doubt. Now that he knows that it drives me crazy, he's going to do that every single time he's on. He's going to do it every single time. No, but we appreciate all of our guests today. My goodness, started with that went fast, didn't it?
Sorry, I was like,
it was an hour.
We did coach last it's 12.
Listen, I could have talked to Rivers for ever. He was getting me pumped. I was stoked, and then I looked down. I was like, well, coach is probably sitting there. We have to be somewhat professional, but I will take it. So, congratulations, Bears, 1-0. We're going to say it's the last time you're going to hear that, but it probably won't be, considering it's going to be a week. It's going to be a long week leading up to Friday. Do we have Thursday games this week?
No, I don't think so. Not football. Let me look.
I don't think so.
We confirm journalism. Let's confirm.
This is how we do it. On the fly, no run sheets, Emmy Award-winning journalism coming at you in real time.
There are football games being played on Thursday, but they're not green on the schedule yet. So Western Reserve hosts Trinity. So Western Reserve is home against Trinity.
We'll be there.
Imagine we'll get someone there. And then Garfield's going to have their school boxcast for hosting JFK.
Those are only two?
Those are the only two. JFK, Garfield, and Western Reserve and Trinity.
We will be there. No doubt in my mind we will be there. And we, as in yours truly, and my dear friend Sam Torres, Greg McAfee, will be at the Varsity Club on Thursday for a very special start time of 4 p.m. for zone coverage brought to you by Youngstown Clothing Company. It's YSU's open. And my dear friend Mike Irvin says, hey, why don't you come here? Let's talk some YSU. I was waiting for that. Wait. All right, I'm good. Mike Irvin says, why don't you come down? Let's talk some YSU. Let's interview some local restaurant owners, some great people that make Youngstown home, and do your thing. Talk about high school football, do your picks, do all that stuff. Bring the guys. It's going to be great food. Everybody is invited, and we want everybody to come. We want you to have a chance to go perfect pass and win up to $500 off of a new set of windows. And I'll tell you what, our friends at Window Depot are the best, absolute best, and the home team. All of your updates, your upgrades on your house, you can get up to $500 off of that. And one person will have the opportunity to win $200. Just put it right through that window, that lower window.
200 means that the week 1 did not go through. So once again,
the jackpot increases.
It just keeps going.
And again, we're not greedy. So if we go the entire season and nobody puts it through the window for that golden ball, we will give $1,000 to the Rich Center for Autism. And I know there's a lot of people cheering against everybody throwing that golden ball. So I'm not the bad guy, the person who's trying to take that money. Hey, I don't blame you. A couple $100, that goes a long way in the gas tank. It goes a long way in that gas tank. So we will see. But we want to thank come on. I was almost there. We want to thank Greg McAfee as well as the Latonia Bears who popped on to today's show. Congratulations, Bears. We're very proud of you. Way to bring it home. And Van Loo making the run to Latonia, Ohio next year. That's breaking news.
Yeah.
That's breaking news. And everybody that's sitting there pounding their chest about 8-man football, where are you at? It's real quiet right now for that 8-man football stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. Coach felt pretty good about 11-man football and understanding that there's a lot. I mean, he did say things changed. So the door wasn't completely slammed shut, but it was also kind of like, hey, we're going to close this door, leave a crack just in case. But I heard we like 11-man football around here. It's a way of life here in Latonia.
Well, and he also put out the reality, like, there are a lot of schools in the same boat. If football doesn't exist, it's going to really hurt the school financially.
Open enrollment. You start looking at that, and especially now that you have potentially the opportunity that if your school doesn't have football, you can go play it somewhere else. Yep. And right now, that's a private school thing. It's a public, but it sounds like it's already started in hockey, as I understand.
And I think, could be wrong, we always guess on this show, on like the OHSA regulations. I think you can do it public to public if it's a neighboring district, right? So you can't like go from Latonia all the way up to Trumbull County and say I'm playing football up there. But you could if it was a neighboring district. If you're an athlete that is in a sport that is not offered by your school.
But you also know the danger.
Stay attending that school.
Yeah, it's a danger, very dangerous for that to happen, because schools know once you let a kid out to do that, there's a very, very big chance that they just go, you know what, I'm here already. I'm just going to stay here. Yeah. Open enrollment, that's what it does. I mean, listen, I'm an advocate for it, capitalism, right? But at the same time, it's like, you've got to be able to be careful, and Coach nailed it. He nailed it. This football. Listen, we've heard it from so many that football is the reason. If you got a good football team that year, you can pass levies. Yep. It's a good kind of open door, front door for potentially passing levies and getting people elected. It's all that stuff, because football has that power. Now, if it's
whether or not
0-10 season
should, but this reality that it does. Like, we would love to sit here and say, if you put in really good test scores, you'll pass levies, because that's what school's about. But it's just not that way. It's not that way. It's not the reality.
No, and statistics can be manipulated, but nobody's ever said that's a faulty reasoning.
Right.
Like a lot of people go and talk to that football coach, and Andy said it before. Andy said sometimes football coaches have more power than the mayor in cities and in towns, and I don't think that can be disproven.
Andy, he can get ice cream wherever he wants.
That was one of the best things ever. We'll roll back to that. All right, that's gonna. Well, we have to do our spark.
Yeah,
because we are legally obligated. We have a wonderful sponsor in Joe Dickey Electric. I shouldn't say legally, contractually obligated. Thanks to our friends at Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical, and they're available to you 24/7, 365 at DickeyElectric.com. Here's your Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Ronald, what's your spark?
I want to give a spark out to the room in the Audible Call because it is such a fun room to work with. Eric Oates there, Brian obviously doing the 1s and 2s and making sure everything's without a hitch. And then Mike Swinehart and Radar and Scotty and Mike Ackelson coming in week 3. This a fun group of people to work with every Friday night. We get to kind of listen into all the broadcasts and try to keep a thumbprint on the pulse of the whole Friday night big picture wise. So it's a really fun room to be in, and I'm glad I'm in it for another season. It was a really fun Friday night.
It's a great camaraderie room from that standpoint. And Radar just got a shout out, so I fully expect that he will probably do a Radar Spark. But yeah, Scotty was there. I mean, by the time I got there, it was all kind of discombobulated. You guys were kind of taking it down a notch, which I appreciate. But that place can get kind of get loud, which I like it. I like it a lot. Mike Spark is going to go out to everybody that put the work in on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and even Sunday yesterday. Anthony, I know you were still hum-babying it through yesterday, and greatly appreciate it. Chris Sigler doing EOIFL games on Saturday. I was out there as well. Noah Doty was running camera for me. Even though he had a little bit of the sniffles, he still cowboyed up and rode on that horse, and certainly thankful for that because, man, we had a ton of people watching those games. We had a ton of people watching YSN all weekend long. We were well over 250,000 people this weekend. So thank you to each and every one of you for making it a successful opening weekend on YSN. And that was with beautiful weather. I'm not rooting for rain, but I'm not adverse to it whenever it comes to paying bills either. Because a lot of people like YSN when it comes to getting those umbrellas out. So thanks to everybody that did tune into YSN. And certainly we've got more coverage tonight. 24/7 is always on, so make sure you're over there. That's been an incredible success for us so far. Just 1 week into it, and we are just breaking all kinds of records we didn't even know existed. So thank you to everybody for piecing that together and going over there and making that your broadcast home as well. So final thoughts, Ronnie? Anything?
I think we hit everything. I got nothing.
All right, well, that's good enough.
Anticlimactic. Terrible. Final thoughts? Nope.
Super. Final thoughts? I knew I was in trouble when you were like, that's going to do it for us today. Don't forget, tomorrow, noon, right here on YSN, we'll be back with even more great cut-ups and hopefully some great interviews like we had today with the Bears and Overreaction Monday with Greg McAfee. For Anthony Ronald Hartwig, the 8-time best-selling author and world traveler, my name is DJ Yokley. This has been YSN Live. And Anthony, as always, may the sports be with you.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.